Variety has verified that Phil Donahue, the popular national talk show presenter who inspired, enlightened, and challenged two generations of daytime television viewers, passed away on Sunday night after a protracted illness. He was 88. The Today Show broke the initial news of his passing on Monday morning. Incredible TV talk show host Phil Donahue passed away peacefully at home on Sunday night, surrounded by his cherished golden retriever Charlie, his sister, his children, and his wife of 44 years, Marlo Thomas, the family released in a statement. Donahue, who was 88 years old, died quietly after a protracted illness. The groundbreaking, topic-focused The Phil Donahue Show was taken up for nationwide syndication in 1969, rebranded as Donahue in 1974, and eventually carried over 200 stations nationwide. It lasted until 1996, when rival talk show hosts like Oprah Winfrey began to steal his female audience, and the daytime talk show scene had completely transformed into a tabloid circus. Even though Donahue was not above using sensationalist subjects, his program was nevertheless relatively mild in comparison to its successors, such as Sally Jessy Raphael and Jerry Springer. The silver-haired Donahue was no stranger to controversy or intensely contested social topics. He brought a strong journalistic spine to his famous show and was a powerful counterpoint to the daytime television soap opera menu and daily celebrity gossip. Donahue was nominated for 21 Daytime Emmy Awards, 9 Daytime Emmy Awards, and 1 Primetime Emmy for his Donahue and Kids special. An additional evening special that aired in 1986 was the 5-part Phil Donahue Examines the Human Animal. In 1981, Donahue was honored with a Peabody Award. Donahue's attraction was largely attributed to his non-threatening, fatherly persona and his ability to connect with the women in his studio audience. His incisive interviewing technique, which was assertive without being confrontational, was another contributing factor. He conducted interviews with politicians, feminists, KKK members, the heads of state, porn actors, and radicals of the 1960s over the years. After his release from prison, he was the only talk show host to interview Nelson Mandela of South Africa. Newsweek previously stated that one sometimes suspects that Donahue's idea of the perfect guest is an interracial lesbian couple, who have had a child by artificial insemination due to how divisive his show was. Indeed, in 1979, this very pair made an appearance on the program. In addition to becoming a cultural icon of his period, Donahue amassed wealth. Variety claims that by the mid-1990s, he was earning $20 million annually in salary, multimedia stock, and other benefits. On December 21, 1935, Philip John Donahue was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Donahue worked as an announcer at WNDU, the university-owned radio station, during the summer after his junior year at Notre Dame, where he studied in commerce. He began working as a summer replacement announcer for Cleveland's KYAM TV after receiving his BBA. He quit the position soon after, feeling dissatisfied with his work and unable to secure a full-time position in TV journalism. He began working as the program/news director of WARG, a local radio station in Michigan, in 1958. This experience helped him gain a job at KYAM TV in Dayton, where he sharpened his reporting abilities and conducted interviews with celebrities like Jimmy Hoffa and Billy Sol Estes. In 1963, he also hosted a daily 90-minute radio chat program called Conversation Piece, which drew mostly female listeners. However, he was unsuccessful in his pursuit of a position with a national audience. Therefore, in 1967 he left television to take a sales position with Dayton's E.F. McDonald Trading Stamp Company. But after a few months, he resumed anchoring The Phil Donahue Show, a morning interview show on Dayton's WLWD-TV. Donahue took advantage of his inability to bring well-known figures to the area by conducting one interview, focusing on a single topic each week, and, most importantly, engaging extensively with the studio audience. His regular crowd appearances and promotion of audience engagement would soon establish the program's signature style. His first guest was the atheist Madalyn Murray O'Hair, whose argument against school prayer had been persuasively argued before the Supreme Court. The show was well received by viewers. Before long, Donahue was discussing contentious topics like homosexuality and premarital sex in addition to other social, political, and lifestyle concerns. Later, he spent time learning about life behind bars by visiting the Ohio State Penitentiary and the Ohio Reformatory for Women. He challenged consumer advocate Ralph Nader to a debate with the president of General Motors. The program was so popular in Dayton that, in 1969, the AFCO Broadcasting Company started syndicating it to its other stations across the nation. After 2 years, 44 stations, primarily in the Midwest, carried the popular show. In 1974, the program relocated to the Chicago headquarters of WGN-TV, and changed its name to Donahue. Donahue was purchased by multimedia program Prods. In 1976, and by the end of the 1970s, it had been aired on over 200 stations, primarily network affiliates, reaching 9 million viewers, the vast majority of whom were female. At that point, he was getting $500,000 annually in addition to a cut of the show's earnings. Donahue's annual salary grew to exceed $1 million as his fame grew. He even signed contracts to regularly appear on The Today Show from 1979 to 1982 and on ABC's late-night program The Last Word for another year. The program moved to New York in 1985 and started airing live there. Up until then, it had only shown live in Chicago and on tape in most other cities. The same year, Donahue and his Soviet counterpart Vladimir Posner started satellite conversations between American and Russian viewers in Leningrad. Later, Donahue visited the Soviet Union, becoming the first Western journalist to visit Chernobyl following the nuclear accident and the first American talk show host to be taped inside the communist nation. The two co-hosted news/talk program Posner/Donahue aired in syndication on CNBC from 1991 until 1994. He moderated a discussion between eventual President Bill Clinton and former California Governor Jerry Brown during the 1992 primary season. Having aired over 6,000 shows by the mid-1990s, Donahue was a victim of his own success. Donahue had to continually raise, or lower, the bar in order to compete with other talk shows that were equally or even more scandalous. Oprah Winfrey, his main opponent, diminished his female support. Some shows pursued sensational subjects even farther in an effort to appeal to younger audiences. He started to lose significant markets gradually, and in 1996, he and multimedia decided to part ways. Donahue made a brief comeback to television in 2002-03, hosting a talk show of his own named MSNBC where he conducted interviews with newsmakers about social and political topics. Although it competed with Fox Network's The O'Reilly Factor for a larger audience, it had the greatest ratings of any cable program at the time. However, after 6 months, MSNBC cancelled Donahue, which caused some observers to surmise that the network considered the show inappropriate given the political atmosphere in the nation at the time. Network management reportedly didn't like the left-leaning political views of the anchor, Variety reported at the time. This claim is consistent with an internal letter that was recently disclosed and stated that Donahue's political views would not have been acceptable to audiences at a time of war. In September 2002, Oprah Winfrey, who was considering hosting an anti-war series on her own show, gave Donahue high praise, saying, "The bottom line is we need you, Phil. because we need to be challenged by the voice of dissent. Donahue co-wrote, co-directed, and co-produced the 2007 documentary Body of War, which followed an injured soldier back from Iraqi combat. The film was an indictment of the war. It was produced by Ellen Spiro. It was described by Variety as a powerful argument against impetuous decisions, be they to attack a country or to join the military. Even after losing his own show, Donahue continued to be a fixture on television, making appearances on shows like The O'Reilly Factor, Tavis Smiley, Real Time with Bill Maher, Hannity, The Piers Morgan Show, and Moyers and Company. Donahue, along with other former talk show hosts Sally Jessy Raphael, Geraldo Rivera, Ricky Lake, and Montel Williams, appeared on an episode of The Oprah Winfrey Show in November 2010. Along with many other well-known figures, he starred in documentaries such as William Kunstler, Disturbing the Universe, 2009, Good Riddance, about Madalyn Murray O'Hair, 2011, Finding Vivian Maier, 2013, and 2014's Unity. In 1996, Donahue received an Atlas Lifetime Achievement Award in addition to being elected into the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame in 1993. Donahue's 5 children from his first marriage as well as his second wife, Marlo Thomas, whom he married in 1980, are among the survivors.